I applied thinking like, fuck it, what's the worst that could happen? Got in, did that, and then was meant to be in Melbourne for 8 months. I ended up being there this year. I've just clocked 10 years. So
let's go.
Let's go. Melbourne is like home for me. And then, I fell into event management, marketing, ended up quitting that because you just end up dealing with a lot of high-end celebrities, a lot of big budgets, and it's fun, but you don't have any time off. I was working 7 days a week. I was burnt out. I was anxious. I quit, went traveling for 8 months. Then I fell into influencing in the cosmetics and beauty kind of area. Then ended up doing a whole bunch of firsts in the industry in Australia, especially when it came to cosmetic and plastic surgeries. I was doing a lot of marketing both in front of and behind the scenes, which I think a lot of people don't really know that I did a lot of behind the scenes stuff for marketing for a lot of big companies. And from that, I kind of got a
How does that differ from like the front and the back? Because I mean, you've got to do, I think the back, you got to deal with a lot of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So what does that bullshit kind of look like?
You're dealing with, I know every single influencer and every single thing they've had done.
Ricky, can you type fucking quieter, bro?
It's so under the voice.
Yeah. Keep that in as well. This is like the Jamie of Joe Rogan. Thanks, Ricky. Continue about the bullshit.
No, I think like what people don't realize is I was working as a marketing manager for some of these big companies I was working for. So I would know every single influencer, every single thing that they'd had done, whether it be filler, whether it be lipo, whether it be Botox, whatever it was. I would see their files, I would do their photos, I'd go into theatre, I would scrub in and watch the surgeries. So you kind of get a lot of knowledge from that. Whereas when I was doing it from the influencer standpoint, I'm having my BBL, I had that live streamed. They hadn't really done that here. Now it's a big no-no, and I can fully respect and understand why, because there's been so many bad things that have been happening in the industry lately, which is another reason why I've stepped away from promoting those kinds of clinics. I've not been doing that for a while now, because once you see the inside of it and how money hungry people get, it does not end well. So I kind of took a step back from doing that, but I was making a lot of money for those businesses. Some of my clients were making over $1 million a year in referrals from my Instagram alone.
Wow.
So kind of started seeing that side of things and said, why am I making this money for everybody else?
Exactly.
Let me go put some of this in my pocket. So I got all of my requirements to do my Bachelor of Nursing, and I started doing that.
Before you get into that, because that's important, that people don't understand. Cool, you've got the 9 to 5 and everyone like goes, oh, you're just like making the boss rich and all that. Yeah, that's sure, but you're also part of a business, right?
Of course, you're a cog in the machine. No, that's how it works.
Well, what's the switch? Because that takes a lot of effort to go, okay, well, how do I reconstruct that entire thing and bring it into my own? What's the thought process behind that?
I think with a lot of things that I've realized from being in this industry for coming up 8 years now, I see a lot of doctors, I see a lot of surgeons who, my value in these clinics was that I'd had experience as a patient and now as a qualified injector that they didn't have. So a surgeon would come in and say to the patient, okay, well, we're going to do lipo. It's going to feel like this from a textbook. It's going to be a recovery of this from a textbook. And I'd sit with them and go, okay, I know that the doctor has told you this, but from my personal experience, it's actually going to be X, Y, and Z. You're going to experience this for longer. That's not going to be like that.